Alright guys, let's settle down guys. Let's go. So we can get you out of here so you can go to sleep so you can get more results, alright? Alright, so any positives going on so far this week or whatever? Any positives?
I feel really good. You know, it's all coming together for me, so I just feel really good. Yeah.
Stacy?
He said I look thin.
Oh wait, Elsie said I had a nice butt.
Oh.
I love that I'm starting to encourage my daughter. Last night I was doing burpees in the kitchen while I was cooking, and she said, "Mom, let me cook my Play-Doh. I want to do those with you." I started doing burpees in the kitchen with me, so that was awesome.
Nice.
Well, I have two things. I started my new job last week, and this week I finally was able to come up with a schedule that works with my working out and training and all that stuff. But the biggest thing is that my relationship with Stacy, Michelle, and Drew, we got really close after Saturday.
What are you guys doing? I think you ladies are married. Alright, we got settle down. Lorena, go ahead. Nice and loud.
Saturday, my daughter's friends all came over to get ready to go out, and my daughter made me show them my bikini. And so now they're all coming to the show and they want to join me.
Here.
I love the Stairmaster. It's been my best friend the last couple of weeks.
Yes, I love this.
Tamika.
I walked in 2 years ago and I could finally fit up.
I watched Jasmine leave the station today. I was very proud of her.
First station. Was it? Out? Nice and loud.
So the past 2 weeks I started school. I passed my first English and math test.
Nice and loud.
I bought this dress 2 years ago when I was in San Diego with my girlfriends, and I was really overweight, obviously, and it wouldn't go up, it wouldn't fit, and I said, I'm going to get into this dress, and I get into it. I got into it on Saturday, it was too big, so I was like, oh my God.
I thought it was going to fall off. I was like, Jerome?
Aside from just Jasmine, who third class led a station today? And it was all their first time, so you guys were like heck scared, but good job.
Thank you.
Yes.
Lisa?
So all those that have led the stations kind of inspired me and Angie, and we'd like to lead the station next Monday.
No. Anybody else? Any other? Boom. Nice and loud.
So some of you know I've had a rough week, but there's been a lot of people that have been here for me and like to listen to and talk to and help me out dealing with what I'm going through. So I just wanted to thank all of them. They know who they are.
Alright, anybody else? Alright, cool, guys. If you guys are on the Zoom call, you guys heard my thing on success, the whole thing on, you know, some of you guys are half-assing and you guys got to be on point, alright? Some of you guys are now finally getting active on the chats. I see that. Get more active, encourage each other, because now I'm seeing people who are quiet on the chats, now they're starting to spark up like, oh my gosh, I'm talking more. So it's kind of encouraging, it's kind of inspiring stuff. Post what you're eating, do all that stuff, because it motivates people, it keeps people going. You guys have less than 5 weeks, right? Less than 5 weeks. So, and this week, ladies, you guys are scheduled to go, what, for bikinis, right?
Yep.
So, there might be some tears, take a lot of pictures, do all that stuff. It might scare you, but that's the next step. So, keep it going, keep pushing even harder. All right, keep pushing even harder. If you guys have been doing your 6-minute miracle morning, keep doing that. Keep starting your day off right. Keep going for success, because that's what we want you guys to really push for. All right, and that's overall success. So keep being active, keep smiling, keep changing, keep inspiring each other, inspire other people. All right, and this Saturday is going to be our hike, like a real hike. Not like that cardiac hill thing that was that horrible thing. This Saturday is a real hike. All right, information will be out, and it's going to start very, very early in the morning, earlier than normal times that we always,
Like
do.
6 a.m. early.
Yeah.
6.
We're hoping 11 or 12. Yeah.
1 or 2.
Oh, maybe. Yeah. When I say like 11 or 12, it's usually like 2 hours after that.
How many miles is it? I'm scared.
As many as you want.
Yeah. It's gonna be a little different than you guys think, so.
Is the hike for the teens also?
Everybody. First, second, third, teens, everything.
Hiking shoes or tennis shoes?
Tennis shoes.
Will they get dirty?
No.
It depends on how you walk.
Yeah, you walk like this, maybe. So it's gonna be a very, very fun experience. It's gonna be challenging too as well. So you guys will get the information Thursday.
Sure.
Thursday.
Wow.
Thursday.
That's a good number. Regular hiking attire? Yeah.
This is my hiking attire.
Okay. Is it?
Yes. So that's all you need to know. Huh? I said 11, 12. She said probably 1 or 2. So yeah, I don't know. Either or, in that range.
Between 11 and 2. Basically, like, I'm going to make you guys run half of it. I'm thinking people are going to be walking.
Bring your food. Bring your food.
Yeah, you need to bring your meal preps.
Bring your meal preps.
Preps of meals.
It'll be fun though, you guys. I encourage every single one of you guys to come. If you can't come, message your mentor, message me and Elsie, so that you can't come. We always say that so we know, and that you don't get in my doghouse with it. So you guys got to message us, let us know everything that's going on.
I wouldn't miss this Saturday. I'm just going to say, for first, second, and third class, I absolutely would not miss this day. I would not miss it. You will be very sad. If you've been sad for missing days, don't miss this day. You will be very, very, very sad, and you will never experience it ever again. You will be very sad. You'll cry in your bed. I will drive you out of your bed. Sad.
Yes. Oh, you guys all did burpees, right?
Yeah.
Good job. You guys got some more results. So, second class had to do like 1 million of those. You guys had your first round of it, so good job, guys. But there will be more stuff. You guys got to be on point from now on. All right, come early. Make sure everybody's on point. Make sure everybody is doing this together. There's probably about how many third class here today? 30 something, 35. All right, 35. Second class, we got some second class. They're all working hard. They're pushing. So. Yeah, and first and third class, you guys will be voting for the best before and after of the second class. The best overall results, right? So whoever wins for the girl and guy, they're gonna step on stage with their own song and get to shine on their own. Yeah, so it's best overall, not just physically. It's what you see, people smiling, contributing, whatever it is, and you guys vote and you guys pick. Cool? That's how we always do it here. So, you guys have any questions? Who's hungry? Anybody's hungry?
I just have a shit.
That's it? I'm not.
Like, I
Hungry for food. Hungry. Alright. No? I'm gonna tweak it then if you're not hungry. You guys keep pushing hard. If you guys have issues, reach out to me and Elsie. Alright? We're hearing chatter in the background from other people, and people complaining here and there, but if you guys don't come back to me and Elsie, we won't ever know. And then it's gonna be November 1st, and you're like, damn, this shit sucks. Alright? the program sucked, or I suck, or they suck, or whatever you're going to say.
It's a lot of sucking.
Yeah. So, if you don't like what's going on, or if you're like not motivated, you have to reach out to me and Elsie. Got it?
I have a question regarding the venue, ticket sales, everything. So what happens if we don't?
We're trying to figure it out. We're at 176, so
What's plan B?
that means we've only sold about 56 tickets this past week.
So plan B is we find another venue, or Joe and I come out of pocket and pay for your guys'.
Everybody goes for
There are no high schools are a 2-month permit waiting list.
How many of us
We
are
just
there?
need to sell tickets.
Huh? There's 100 something of you guys.
How much is the other?
We don't want you guys to know, but just push as much as you guys can. We're talking with the lady. The Crest is a very difficult venue to get into, and you guys are in it. So you guys yes. So if you guys do 2 or 3 tickets, that's more than enough right there. If every single person does that. So we've only had 56 tickets sold. So the people that are saying they sold tickets, they have not sold tickets because they're lying, assholes. Yep. Really focus and give everything you have for these 2 individuals, as they will give you the tools that you need to succeed, hopefully for the next 5 weeks and hopefully for the rest of your lives. So everybody give it up for this married couple, Will and Ashley. Oh, there. What's up? Good. Thank you, bro.
Thank you.
It's the program.
It's his,
It does that for you.
it's his wife standing next to him. It does that. Hello, everyone.
What's up? How you guys doing today? Feeling good? Feeling good?
Yeah.
Getting results?
Yeah.
That's good. Let's go, bro. Let's go, baby.
All right. So tonight we're going to be talking about self-management. So I just want you guys I'm going to explain a scenario to you. Just imagine it's New Year's Eve, and you're setting your New Year's Eve resolution, and it's to join a gym and to start exercising. This is before the release candidate. You guys are all in the gym. And you decide that you want to start exercising. So you join the gym, you get your membership, and January 1st, you go to the gym. As you're pulling into the parking lot, there's tons and tons of cars. It's packed. You try to find a parking spot. You're already getting discouraged because there's nowhere to park. So you drive around a little bit, you finally find a parking spot, and it's really far from the gym, but you say, you know what, I need the exercise anyway. I'll park car and I'll walk. So you park your car. You go into the gym and you look around, and there's just an overwhelming amount of people there. You go to the locker room, you realize there's no lockers left. They're all full. So you just change your clothes, stuff them in your bag. You just decide, okay, I'll just have my bag next to me on the machine. All the machines you want are taken. There's no machines available. So you just decide to jump on any machine, even though it's not the machine that you really want. And you're just having a horrible experience at your first day at the gym. So as you walk out, you happen to see the manager, and you kind of complain about, the crowd's there, you just joined, but there wasn't any machines for you to work on, and the manager tells you, don't worry, come back in a couple weeks, and 98% of the people that are here won't be here anymore. Okay, sound pretty familiar? You join a gym, you don't stick to it. It's a lot of people's New Year's resolution. So what we're talking about tonight is that making a decision to do something is the easy part. But the follow through and the discipline is the hard part that we have to constantly work on. We can make a decision to do anything. We can make a decision that we want to be a doctor. We can make a decision that we want to buy a new car, but actually doing what we have to do to get those things is the hard part, and a little bit what we're going to be talking about tonight. And just in order to be successful, you have to learn how to self-manage. And in order to be leaders, you have to first lead yourself. You can't lead anyone else if you don't have self-management skills. How can you teach things to others that you lack in yourself? So that's what we're going to be talking about tonight. We're gonna go over 7 things that you must self-manage to be successful. And Will and I are just gonna go back and forth over these 7 things. So if you could just listen to these 7 things, and Will's gonna start off with managing your emotions.
All right, so the first thing that you must do to be successful and manage your time is, and self-manage is manage your emotions, okay? So in general, nobody likes to be with around somebody who's an emotional time bomb. Somebody who is gonna just like break down any moment, someone who's just gonna get hella angry and just yell, just people who are up and down all the time. Nobody wants to be around them, right? Am I right?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. So for you to be a leader and be successful, you can't be that type of person. So most leaders and other successful people know when to display emotion and when not to. So, for example, you might think of like a basketball coach or any sports coach. If they see their team not performing or not giving the effort that they need to, or they just have no emotion on the court or anything like that, you might have seen before like a coach just go crazy and yell at a ref or something like that and get a technical foul, get thrown out the game. And he's doing all this other different things like the baseball coach. He's kicking the dirt and all that stuff. He's doing that on purpose. He's showing emotion with a purpose to kick his team and make them get fired up. So he's not just doing things because he's thinking, oh, I'm upset, I'm mad, or whatever. He's purposely showing that emotion. He's leading with emotion, okay? So another thing leaders do with emotions is they know when to delay their emotions or when not to show them when they really have those emotions inside. So think of like a war movie you've seen, something like that. And there's always a scene where there's like a little nerdy one or something, the skinny, weak one or something, holding the radio or the meds or something. And his buddy dies, and then he wants to stop and he freezes and he's about to get shot, and then somebody jumps and, saves him or whatever. And then, so the leader, the captain, or, whoever, the sergeant, he's probably hurting inside when somebody got killed, but he can't show that emotion. He has to wait until he's alone after he's got his troops back to safety before he can like cry or just mourn or have any grief, right? Because he's the leader, and leaders cannot show that weakness in the battlefield, otherwise everyone's gonna die, right? So when you're successful, you need to know when you can show emotion and when not to show emotion, all right? One thing to think about, to ask yourself, what does the team need, not what will make you feel better when it comes to emotion.
So next I'm going to be going over managing your time. How many of you guys know the value and the importance of time? Very, very important. So what I want you guys to do is everyone stand up. So I want you guys to you guys don't have your phones, so that's good. So I want you to just sit down when you think that you've been standing for 1 minute. Okay? Starting now.
Some of you guys counted ahead, huh? I just messed up the count, didn't I?
That's good. I'm not supposed to be counting. Okay, so a minute has passed. It just passed.
I was just going to sit down.
So the point of that little exercise was we all have the same 24 hours in a day. Is that correct?
Yes.
But to some people, their 24 hours in a day can be really short, and for others, their 24 hours in a day can be really long. So we have to value and understand time and utilize it to its full potential in order to be successful. Time is valuable. So the way time works is that you first must learn to value yourself before you can value time. If you don't value yourself and you just walk into places late, you don't care how you look, you drag yourself in, you're late all the time, you don't show up for appointments on time, you're not valuing yourself. So in order to value time, you have to first find value in yourself. And then until you value time, you will not do anything with it. So if you don't value yourself and you don't value time, you're not doing anything with time but wasting it. Time is something that you can never ever give back. There was a quote that I sent to someone, and I may not be quoting it exactly, but it was saying the best gift that you can ever give someone is their time, because you can never get it back. That's the best thing you can ever give to anyone. That's something you're giving away that you can never get, that time you can never get back. I want you to just think, for example, people don't pay for things with money. They pay for things with time. So how many of you ever said, in 5 years, I'm going to get that dream house I've always wanted? Or in 2 years, I'm going to get the car that I always wanted? Has anybody ever said that? Mm-hmm. So when you say that, for example, in 5 years, I'm going to get that vacation house I always wanted, what you're really saying is that house costs 5 years. So that's what I mean by you pay with things with time and not with money. You're saying that house costs 5 years. Does that make sense to everyone? Mm-hmm. So you don't want to think about what you buy in terms of money, but think about it in terms of time. Think about how much value you put on time, and when you say you're going to go after something and you put a time limit on it, don't focus on the money part of it, but focus on the time. So in order to, that's one thing to be successful. Time is, to me, one of the most important ones out of the 7 that we're going to go over. And then Will's going to go next with managing, I don't know.
All right, the next one is manage your priorities. So there's a little ratio to managing your priorities. What you want to do is you want to spend 80% of your time working on what you're strongest on, where you're strongest at. 15% of your time of what you need to learn and what you need to work on is what you need to spend your time on, and 5% on other miscellaneous things. So the reason why you want to work on 80% of the things that you're strongest on and focus on those things are that you want to, in life, successful people, they find niches or they become experts and they focus on those areas. You don't want to be average. If you don't put enough time on what you're good at and your strengths and just focus on your weaknesses, you're not going to be able to, you'll be good at everything, a bit of everything. You'll be average. You won't be able to be an expert. You won't be the best. And for you to be successful, you have to be great at something. If you're average, you'll live a good life or you'll make a good living, but you won't be rich. You won't be, fulfilled fully in your life. Baseball again, or sports, right? You look at a pitcher, there's different types of pitchers. There's starters who make a lot of money, and there's closers who make a lot of money, and then there's middle relievers who nobody knows them. Can anybody name a middle reliever?
That guy?
Okay. But starting pitchers, right? Like growing up, you knew Nolan Ryan or, Roger Clemens. Today you got, Lincecum or whatever his name is. You got, Strasburg, all these people, right? And then one of the most famous pitchers, New York Yankees, was Mariano Rivera, right? And he had a very specific niche. He only came and pitched at most 1 inning a game, made so much money. He's famous. He's a Hall of Famer. He's going to be a Hall of Famer. And all he had to do was pitch every day, just 2 at the most innings, right? And he became famous because he specialized in something. The people who are in the middle, they go unnoticed. They're just there. They hold it down, they get you to the closer from the starter, but they're not famous, they're not recognized, they don't make that much money, they're not remembered. You want to be somebody who's remembered, successful, you want to be a leader, you need to find that niche, become an expert, and focus on those things that you're strong on. Still working on the other things, but make sure that you spend the majority of your time on the 80%, all right? Learn to delegate what you focus on, okay? Not at, what is it? Yeah, so focus on your strengths. To be successful, you just have to, make a to-do list and make a to-don't list, all right? So you just want to write down things that you do throughout your day, and then you want to categorize it into do and to don't, all right? And then what you do is you just go through it and prioritize it and say, okay, this is what I'm good at, this is what I'm not good at. This is something that eats up my time, this one is something that doesn't. And focus on those things that you're good at, make those better. Keep making those things better, still at the same time realizing that you have things to work on. And then as you're making those things better that you're good at, learn how to delegate those things that you're not good at to other people. So leaders, if they're good at one thing, communication, they're going to communicate. And if they're not good at typing up reports or something, they'll have somebody who does that for them, because they know that, why waste my time trying to go through and type this paper when I only write, I use like 2 fingers when I type. Why are you looking at me like that? That's what I got you for. Okay? She used to type my reports up sometime, when it was late at night and I wanted to go to sleep. I wrote it, she typed it. So that's really what leaders do. They find out what they're good at, they focus on those things, and they have other people help them and do things for them that they're not good at as well. So they're trying to better themselves in that, but not spending all their time. It's a balance that you want to have, and make sure that your balance is more higher on the things that you're good at.
So to go along with what Will was talking about, you need energy in order to focus on those things that you're good at. So to be successful, one thing that you have to manage is your energy and how much energy you're going to put into different tasks. And obviously you're going to want to put more energy into the tasks that you are better at, that you're trying to become excellent in. So when you're looking at what you're going to put your energy in, you want to ask yourself, what is the main event? What's the one thing I can't afford to give anything less than my best? And that's what you want to give the majority of your energy to. Because if you waste your energy on the little things that aren't that important, that's less energy you're giving to the things that are important that's going to help you be successful. So you want to make sure that you have enough energy to do those things with focus and excellence. So there's something called the ABCs of energy drain. And I'm going to go over those 3. It's the ABCs of energy drain. So A would be activity without direction. So that's doing things that doesn't seem to matter. Why give your energy into stuff that's not going to make a difference in your life? Doesn't that seem pointless? A lot of us go through life doing stuff that we don't even want to do and they don't matter. We're wasting our energy on that. It all ties back into time as well. We're wasting our time on that we'll never get back. The second energy drain is B, burden without action. That's not being able to do things that do really matter. So it's things that matter that you should be focusing on, but you don't have the energy or the time to do it. And number 3 would be conflict with resolution. Not being able to deal with what's the matter. So if you have things going on in your life that are upside down and you need to fix your household, you need to fix your weight management, whatever the case may be, you need to save energy for those type of things. Otherwise, what's going to happen? Things are going to start falling apart. So you want to always make sure that you have enough energy for what's important. And if you're at a job or at a place in your life where you're not able to deal with these ABCs, then it's time to find something new. Because there's no purpose to it. If you're at a job that's so draining that you're constantly getting all your energy drained, you have to find a way to turn things around and fix it, or find something new that's going to be useful for your energy. So
all right, the next one is managing your thinking, all right? So, question, how many people feel like they're too busy when they're at work to think? time to think to themselves, think about things they have to do. You're too busy at work or too busy throughout your day to find time to think. That's it. All right. Well, for you guys who are too busy, I have a couple tips for you, all right? So, for me, I'm at work 3:30 in the morning till about 9 o'clock, and I work on my own. And so I have headphones on for like 4 hours, and I listen to like personal development, or I listen to like podcasts and things like that. And I constantly have all this stuff coming in my head, but I'm not able to, I think of all these things I want to do, like, oh, this sounds great, this is amazing, this is a good point, or whatever, and I'm constantly thinking. So I have the time to think, but I don't have the time to write it down. And I end up losing that information. So I'm all fired up at work in the morning, and when I get home and I'm busy, I'm doing all of my stuff throughout the day, coming here, all the chats, workout, everything, and I just wasted all that knowledge that I learned throughout my personal development and all the things that I listen to, right? So a tip, make sure you carry, if you can, a pen and a notepad or something. And when you get a thought in your head that it's like an aha moment, it's like, oh, I want to implement this in my life. Something that somebody like Brendon Bouchard said or something, Les Brown, write that down, okay? And write down as many as you can throughout the day. And what you want to do is you want to give yourself, if you can, about 30 minutes every day or night, and just go over that list and just think about that. Just think about those things and try to, say, okay, I'm gonna try to implement this, and just figure it out. Just give yourself some time to think about the things that were in your head while you're going out throughout your day, all right? Another way you can do it is just gather those notes all through the week, and then set aside some time on Saturday or Sunday when you're off of work, and sit in a quiet space. You can go to a park, or you can go to the garage, wherever, get away from your kids somewhere, wherever you can go, make a place and have that designated every week where it's just your thinking time and your thinking space, and just jot down everything that you're thinking, because you don't want to, you want to use your thoughts, you don't want to lose your thoughts, okay? There's no point of being in your head and thinking and listening and doing all this personal development if you can't implement it. And the only way you can do that is if you get it down on paper and you come up with a plan and you make time to be able to do these things, right? You also, when you go to your thinking place, or whenever you want to think, you want to have an agenda. You don't want to just go sit in there and be like, I'm going to do some thinking today. I'm going to go out to the park and chill and just think about some stuff. And then your mind just races and you just think about all kind of randomness. So make sure you're like, okay, I have these papers. These are the things that I was thinking about throughout the week. And then when you go to those places, you sit and you really go through that list and focus on that. Because otherwise your mind is going to drift onto other things and you just wasted your time that you had to yourself to do your thinking. All right?
So I'm going to go over the last 2 of the 7 things that you need to self-manage. So number 6 is manage your words. This is also very important. If you have something worthwhile to say it briefly and well. And if you don't, sometimes the best thing to do is just to remain silent. There was a basketball coach by the name of John Wooden, and he said, show me what you can do, don't just tell me what you can do. So just to give a little brief example, for the longest time when I wasn't able to make it to a certain event that had to do with Sacktown Fit Club or everything, I would text Joe and Elsie the longest excuse, I might still do it, I don't know, I try not to, but I text them the longest excuse of the entire reason why I can't be there, why I can't make it, and they would always tell, not just me, but the other one, especially in the first class when we first did it, is just tell me you can't make it. I don't need the excuse. Well, that's part of managing, and for the longest time I didn't understand that. But when I read this, it was kind of an aha moment, and it says successful people value action. If they are going to stop long enough to listen, the words that they need to hear need to have value. Do excuses have value? No. So if you can't make it somewhere, you just can't make it. But for someone, once again, we go back to time, to give you their time to stop and listen to what you have to say, What comes out of your mouth needs to hold value. It needs to be valuable enough for them to where they're giving you their time to hear you. So if they're giving that time in exchange, you need to be giving something of value. And if you can't make it somewhere, you just can't make it. The excuse doesn't really matter because it's not going to benefit the person that you're telling, if that makes any sense. And yes, there's occasions where there's emergencies and you're sharing that with somebody. But what I mean is just, you know, hey, I can't make it. I have a doctor's appointment because my toe was green and then I had to get this. All that part can be left out because it doesn't hold value. So you just want to make sure to manage your words, and in order to be a successful leader, to talk with value. Make sure the things that are coming out of your mouth is something that can inspire others and that is worth someone's time. And number 7 would be manage your personal life. How can you be a successful leader if your personal life is a messed up personal life for so long? You can only put on a fake happy face for so long, but if you're not able to keep your personal life managed, it's going to eventually come out in your leadership. If you're leading a team, that team's going to eventually fall apart if your personal life is messed up, because it's going to come out in how you treat and talk to others. So it said, what benefit to climb to the top if you lose a marriage or you alienate your children? So if you have stuff going on at home, that's something that Will was talking about. Sometimes that might be part of when you need to prioritize things. Get your house in order, get your family in order, get your life in order before you can decide to lead a team or to become successful leaders. You want to make sure that you manage your personal life. The better you are at making sure you're doing what you should be doing, the better chance you have at impacting others. Is that understandable to everyone? Yeah. All right. So those are the seven tips to self-management in order to be a successful leader. We do have a little activity that we're going to do to close it off. What I need are, I'm not sure how many people are here. I only need 6 groups, so we'll try groups of 10. So if you guys can group yourselves into groups of 10. Before you do, each group, and then I've already talked to some of first and second class that I needed to be point keepers. There's going to be a list of tasks on these papers. You don't have to do all of them because you're only going to get 10 minutes. Each task is worth a certain amount of points, so you and your group decide which task you're going to complete. Just know that you have 10 minutes and that you're trying to rack up the most points possible. The person in your group will be either from first or second class that's keeping score. As you complete each item, they'll add up the score and we'll get the scores at the end and then we'll go from there. Got it? So if you guys can break yourselves off in group of 10.
If you can hear me, clap twice. How many of you guys had fun playing that game? That was fun. I wanted to play myself, actually. I had fun putting that game together because it sounded really fun. But believe it or not, that game had a lot to do with time management. Anyone see why?
So just if I can get a couple volunteers to answer, how did the teams decide what task they wanted to do? Vinny? I delegate. It's up to you.
I delegated and I picked the biggest points first.
Biggest points or the hardest ones?
The hardest points, the ones that were working.
And then we also did multitasking. So while one person was doing something else, we were.
Angie?
Our group seemed to naturally kind of gravitate to their strengths. Like they looked on the list and were like, oh, I can do that. And they kind of took the lead on that. And so that helped. And then we looked at ones and we're like, we don't have time to do that. It's not realistic. So let's spend our energy on that.
Y'all going deeper than what I even had planned.
Combine them, so like running around and singing, and then doing a combo bag and still everybody.
Good idea. So, most groups will analyze the time and the task. Most groups will analyze the time the task will take and or the difficulty level and compare it with the value. So a lot of times we choose high yield but low effort. So big reward, not so hard. Rather than choosing low yield, high effort, meaning it's really hard to do, but you're not going to get a big reward for it. And that's maybe what some of you guys went towards the higher points, right? It may not have seemed like a hard task to do, but you went after those higher points. And a lot of things that you guys shared displayed a lot of great time management skills. Doing 2 things at the same time. You can use that in your daily life. You can prioritize and clump things together when you're making your to-do list. And shorten your to-do list. You could take 2 things that aren't that important and be like, I could do this at the same time while I'm working on this. I can get this done. There's things that I do while I'm on my lunch break. I went over my notes on my lunch break really quick. I still get to have my lunch break and eat, but I went over my notes for tonight. So you can prioritize. I knew that I was going to be super busy today. I tutor after work. I come here. I work full time. So I have to prioritize things and I have to combine things like that you guys did to get your points. So that's a good way to utilize your time. Were there any decisions based on task dependencies? That's kind of what Angie talked about. People geared towards what they were strong at. Like, oh, I'm good at leading the Congo line, so let's go. Or I saw people dragging people over, so maybe you're a good persuader. And if your wife drives you over, you don't have a choice. That one was worth 20 points. That was fun to watch you guys literally drag people across the room, even when they were saying no. So, for example, did anyone do the name card task? I don't think anyone did that, right? Some of you guys did?
We did, yeah.
So you received bonus points if you used the nickname. So what we talked about, performing 2 tasks together would triple the points sometimes or double the point. So we already went over that. Group dynamics also come into play. The fact that you guys knew each other, a lot of times this activity is done as an icebreaker. Like let's say the first time that we ever met, it would have been kind of an icebreaker. And so a lot of times if you get in a group with people that you're comfortable with, you're more likely to choose the embarrassing task. Which you guys, it may have been easier because we've been around each other long enough to where it's not as embarrassing to sing Barney, I Love You together as embarrassing.
That was just the first song that came to my mind.
Yeah, that's good. So when prioritizing tasks in life, we often tend to stay within our comfort zone as well. So a lot of times when we're choosing the tasks that we need to get done, we go towards the easy ones because we're comfortable with it. But a lot of the tasks that you aren't comfortable with are those tasks that are going to cause you to be successful. A lot of those ones that were worth higher points are the ones you had to take a little bit more of a risk. Like singing together had the 15 points rather than all the 5-point tasks. Or finding out something more about someone had a bigger one. Did anyone choose the one to make a list of what they wanted to get out of this workshop?
Yes.
Awesome. So something like that is something you have that's a little more serious and that you have to take your time and do. And a lot of times we gear away from that stuff, but a lot of times those are the things that are going to cause us to be the most successful. So when you're making your to-do list, don't choose just what's easy just because. Choose what's going to challenge you and what's going to cause you to grow as a person and to grow as a leader. And yes.
Well, and what I found too in our group, like where some of us were like discussing what we were going to do, like myself, like Angie stepped up and it's like, we don't have time, let's just start doing it, you know? And it was like, so
somebody stepped up and just you talked about decision versus action, following the decision. So, you know, Angie was that girlfriend, so.
Managing words could even go into that. If you guys spent your first 5 minutes like talking, like, hey, maybe we could do this and do that. Managing your words, who agrees that that would have took up too much time? It was just get to the list, figure out what's most important, what's going to get us the highest points, and you went for it. You guys all did an awesome job. I hope you guys got something out of Will and I's discussion tonight. We appreciate your time that you gave us.